Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and I have a new unit to share with you. We are putting together our mineralogy unit, and we're going to approach this unit a little bit different than just a normal unit study, and that is because I am going to be using the Live-Education Mineralogy block in order to put this unit together. So I'm going to show you how this differs from the unit that we previously did on Geology. I am linking that entire playlist at the end of this video and down below in the description box so that you can take a look at that. Now, I store the materials for our unit studies in bins that look like this, of varying sizes. They're all in our homeschool room, and I use them to keep like books and projects and kits and other things that relate to a particular unit study. And that way, when I get prepared, or when I'm preparing to do a unit study or a main lesson block, I can just pull that whole bin out and then sort through it. I'm going to show you all the resources. I'm going to show you the curriculum. I'm going to show you our hands-on materials, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my process of how I'm actually putting this together. This time around, we are going to be following the live education curriculum a little bit more closely, and we are going to be doing the mineralogy block. And for this, I am going to go through the table of contents, and I am going to familiarize myself with all the different topics that are going to be covered so that I can be prepared with additional resources that will complement that particular lesson. So of all the things I'm going to show you today, some things are going to be resource materials that I'm going to use to prepare myself for the lessons, and then other things are going to be things that my children will use. But in addition to that, I have tons of hands-on projects, and I'm really excited about those, so I want to show you those first. But I'm going to just flip through the Mineralogy Main Lesson book really quickly. These are for the live education curriculum. This is for 6th grade. I go ahead and I put my own labels on the curriculum because it doesn't come with grades on it to begin with. What's nice about this curriculum is that it comes with a lot of artwork that you can use to copy into your main lesson book. Then something else that's a little different for this is that you can see that this is quite a small resource book. When you get the live education curriculum, you're getting anywhere from 6 to 8 or 9 different books that are about this size. Some are a little bit larger. This is basically the resource material that you as a teacher will use in order to present the lessons. This is not generally intended for something that you will read aloud, and it's certainly not something that you're going to hand to your child in order to read on his or her own and then, complete the assignment on his or her own. So generally, you will read through the material, you can get additional resources if you need, and then you will present the lesson. And then usually lessons are accompanied by some kind of artwork. And as the children get older, the artwork gets a little bit more detailed, and sometimes the artwork will be one artwork for several lessons. And so you can see here, you have this diagram of a volcano, and then you have for volcanoes, you have lessons 5, 6, and 7. So that's 3 lessons for one particular topic area. All right, so this is just basically the curriculum, and I think that it spans about 3 to 5 weeks, but it has 15 lessons, so that's about 3 weeks. Okay. So let me show you the hands-on projects first because that's what I am most excited about. I am going to show you these beautiful samples here, these really beautiful specimens. These are from a Gio Kit that we got last year that we did with our geology unit, and we liked it so much we went ahead and we ordered another one. So this is from Rainbow Resource. These are 15 premium geodes. This one was really pricey. This one was $50. But let me just tell you, we've done the cheapy geodes in the past, and for like $1, $2, $3, and they do not compare at all. These ones are beautiful, and we don't even have the most beautiful ones here because my children kind of had dibs on the best ones, and then they're not here. But let me just show you kind of like what you get when you get this kit because they are phenomenal. This one's really beautiful. And then you have some more basic ones. This one's also really nice here too. So you're going to get some really great samples. You also get pyrite with this kit. And whereas my children did crack a couple of them open, they also preferred to keep them just completely intact. So we are going to be doing this kit again. Okay, so in addition to that kit, we also got this one. This is a gigantic Gio Kit. You only get one. I'm really excited about this one because you're guaranteed to get a really phenomenal specimen. This one was also really pricey. This is $20. And so if you had to choose between the two, I would just say save your money, get the one that's $50 that has like 15 different samples. But if you're totally an enthusiast when it comes to geology and geodes, then I think that this is probably going to be a winner. Now, I will have a video on this, at least on Instagram, because I do not have, this is new for us, and we've already done a video on our geode kit, and I am also linking that below so that you can take a look at the whole process of cracking open those geodes. I'm a huge fan of the Professor Noggins games. They're great for our opening activities. So when we do a main lesson, the main lessons usually take about 2, sometimes 3 hours a day. And this is where the concentration of your school time is going to go to. And the main lesson usually includes your warm-up activities or your opening activities, and then it has like your review work, and then your drawing and your narration, and then your new content. So it's quite a lengthy ordeal. And to start off the lessons, I like to do something that's a little bit more fun and kind of invites the kids into that lesson space. And so using the Professor Noggins has been fabulous. I absolutely love them. These cards are really great. To begin with, they're really beautifully illustrated, and they are trivia based. So on the back, you have 2 sets of questions, an easy set and a hard set. And what we like to do is sometimes when we're starting off a unit, we'll start off with the easy questions because we're not that familiar with the content yet. And then as we progress through the unit, then we can start to tackle some of the harder questions. Something else that you might do is if you're playing with your children, you might choose the hard questions for yourself and do the easy questions for your children, and that way it kind of evens out the playing field. The only downside to this is that it is trivia based, so you have to know some of the information in order to answer them. And the other thing is that because it's trivia based, you're going to end up memorizing all the answers at some point, and so then the game is not going to work anymore. So that's the only downside, but aside from that, I think it's a fabulous game. Something else that's new to us are these natural and earth science flashcards. These are by Ebu. They're also really beautifully decorated, and they're also really good quality. They've got a really nice finish to them. It's not lamination, but it's pretty close to being laminated. So they comes with an illustration on the backside, and then on the front it has just some information about the topic. Now, we use these with our ocean main lesson block, and we just pulled out the cards that were relevant to the material that we were studying. But the only thing that I found difficult about this is that it was really hard to make this interactive and interesting for my son because it is just basically information. They're just flashcards. So what we did was we divided up the cards for the cards that were relevant for the topic that we were studying, and then I would read this portion without saying what it was, and then he would have to guess what it was. And so that was kind of a nice way to do it, kind of add a little trivia to this. But overall, I'm not quite sure how we are going to incorporate these cards this time around. They are really nice. The only thing is that they're very varied. And so since we are just doing mineralogy or geology, we may only be able to use a few of these cards. And so I don't know how you would use the whole pack unless you did this as like an introduction to earth science in general, but they're still really beautiful. And if you're looking for something a little bit different, then I would say that these are a good choice. The only thing is just trying to make them interactive and trying to incorporate them into our lessons was a little bit challenging. Something that we've had in our collection for years is a lyrical earth science. There are 4 volumes to the lyrical science songs. It comes with workbooks that go along with it. I found the workbooks to be pretty challenging actually, but the songs are fabulous, and it's just also kind of nostalgic for us since we've been listening to them for a long time. And I like having something that is either music or an audiobook or something to complement whatever unit that we're doing. So this will be nice to have. I also want to show you these rock kits, and these are by Central. You can get ones that are much larger that have a little bit of all the different kinds of rocks, but I went ahead and got these smaller ones so that they're just for the sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic rocks. And this is what they look like inside. They also come with a little magnifying glass and then some information about the rocks, which is nice too. But in general, my children just liked to look at them. The only thing that's a little I guess the downside to these is that the little stickers will come off. Eventually you can see that there's the number 12 inside there. It's not on the rock anymore. And there's a 15 there and there's a 9 here. So we got to figure out which one goes to what. So I would just recommend that you snap a picture of it before you open it up and, use it so that you can know which ones are which in case the little stickers fall off. And then this is the metamorphic kit, and it looks like we added a couple other things in there. All right, let's move on to some of the other hands-on materials that we have. I have this chart here called it's just an earth science chart actually, and it's really, really high quality. Like, this stuff is like classroom quality. So it's very durable. It's really beautiful. We had this out last time, and again, this is one of those things that just didn't get used the way I expected it to get used. So I need to make a better effort this time around to really incorporate some of these visuals into our lessons. And so it comes with this activity guide, and last time I had photocopied this section and I had my child answer the questions when I needed a little bit of busy work. And so I think I want to do that a little bit more often for this unit, since it comes with quite a few worksheet pages. So I would just recommend just photocopying them and using them. In my bin, I also keep the packaging of kits that we've done in the past, either so that I could reorder them if we like them, or in this case, this one's called All About Volcanoes. We have this whole kit and I have all the materials for it. We've already assembled it. We've already painted it. I have a video on that, of course, but now we can just go ahead and just redo the project without going through the whole kit again. And also this time around, which we didn't do very much the first time, is that it also came with a lot of additional information that would really complement the lesson. So I definitely want to pull this one out again, and having it in here reminds me that we have this kit. I also kept in here the other packaging for the other kits that we did. So this was the Geode kit that you saw. There was another Dig, Discover, and Display kit here. This one is on crystals. This one was really nice for a lot of reasons, but also it was a little disappointing for the crystals that we made, because we got 3 different kits and I thought we were getting 3 different kinds of crystals, but it was just crystals that they were the same crystals, they just had food dye, I think. So we had the pink one and the yellow one, and I think we had a blue one, and then we had the regular like clear one. And the kit came with like 2 or 3 different kinds, or maybe 2 different kinds, I can't remember, but again, I will link that video down below. And the crystals are they're really nice. It just wasn't what we were expecting. However, I want to show you what else came with the kit, which was fabulous. It came with 15 gems, and these were fabulous samples. And this is what they look like all on display. Now, it came like in a little tray, like a little black tray with the little labels. It was very nice, but it kind of just, after we were done with the project, kind of got moved around in the classroom or our homeschool room and collected dust, and it just wasn't inspiring anymore, because like the unit was done, the school year was done, and right when we started school this year, I needed to like kind of tidy up the schoolroom and clean off the old projects that we did. So in order to make more surface space, I went ahead and took all of the 2 kits. We had 2. We actually ordered 3, but my oldest son wasn't interested in doing it, so we only used 2 of them for at the time, my 5-year-old and my 10-year-old. So what we did was I removed all of them from the little tray that it came in, and I went ahead and I glued it on to just some chipboard. And then I took the labels that came with it and I put them on. And I love the way that it's displayed now. It takes up vertical space, which I have a little bit more of than surface space in my homeschool room. So it makes nice classroom decoration. I went ahead and pulled it down so that I would remember to use it with this unit. The only thing that is not good about the way that I displayed this is that I used chipboard that wasn't quite thick enough. And I did the same for this one, but this one doesn't matter as much because there's not so much that's displayed on it. But if you want to try something like this and it's going to be heavy objects, then I would just go with chipboard that's heavier. And once they're displayed, obviously, you kind of want to keep it this way. It wouldn't damage it to remove the glue. It's just hot glue, but you would obviously damage the display. But this kind of gives it new life. And that was all from that kit. So, you get crystal making in the kit, and you get some fabulous gems. So I think that's a winner. So if you're looking at one of those excavation kits, I would recommend that one. Here's another excavation kit. This one was shaped as a volcano, which was kind of cool. I have the information in the back here. I went ahead and kept it so that, again, the next time we do it, we've got that all here. And what was cool about this particular kit is that you didn't know which samples you were going to get. I think you get 5 out of a possible 15 different samples. And so that was kind of exciting. It kind of had a different flair for this particular excavation kit. And then I had my son write the different samples that he got, and then we glued them on. And again, nice classroom decoration and also something inspiring for when we do this unit. Okay, so I want to show you a couple other samples that we're going to have in our classroom. These are just going to be part classroom decoration and partly just things that we can observe as we do the lesson. I have this really beautiful basket here. It's very short, so it's really easy to display a lot of things on it. I cleared it off from our last unit, which was our ocean unit. It had shells and things on it, and now I can go ahead and put these things, and as we collect other rocks in nature or just other things that we want to have for this unit, we can go ahead and display them here. We also got some rocks and shells from a local beach. Those are too small to put in here, but I can put them into this little dish. That I did this last time with our unit, and that was pretty successful. I had some shells on here, so I can put some of the rocks on here. I can change them out. I've got a little magnifying glass, and it just kind of adds something that's self-directed. It's kind of nice to add to the unit. One other thing that I've had for years, and I really like it, is this fossil collection kit, and it comes with several samples as well as little cards that explain what is in these little baggies. And these are really nice fossils, and they've always been in these bags, and I feel like they're not getting used as well as I would like them to be used and observed and just kind of used for our lesson. So I think this time around I'm going to display them in this tray. This is something that I started using with my previous unit, our ocean unit, and went ahead and I put the shells in this, and it just kind of made it really inviting. It was a kind of an invitation to learn about the different things and the different samples that were in here. And so I think I want to do the same for this as well. I'll take them out of the bags, but I think that I've got enough little slots here that I could add these in, and it just kind of allows my kids to touch them and to see them rather than just having them in the plastic bag. So before I show you the books that we're going to use, I want to show you just a couple more kits that we have. These ones are from Nature Watch, and I've been really pleased with most of the kits from Nature Watch. And this one is an amber kit. So I've never done this one before, but this is unpolished amber that you get to polish up. So we are going to try that for this unit. I've never done it before, but I will definitely have a video on this since this is new to us. And the other kit that I have is the Rockorama kit. Now these are classroom kits, so it comes with the materials for 20 or 30 students. And this one really comes with a lot of materials. So you get this really beautiful sampling of the different rocks, not the ones that come in the kit, but just the different types of rocks. And then you get a variety of rocks. You get 4 different kinds of rocks, and you get this little card so that you can glue the different rocks on the card and then identify them. And it comes with everything you need. This is like such like a packed kit. And it comes with the glue and some other materials, and it comes with a Peterson guide to rocks and minerals, and then also this little fold out pamphlet on geology. So really good quality kit. Comes with a lot of stuff. We're excited to use it. We've already started to use it when we did this has sweat because I didn't let it dry completely. We made our own excavation kits, and we used rocks from this kit in order to make our own little excavation kits. And we made a bunch of them, and inside were 2 I believe, 2 rocks out of the 4 that were available. So you weren't quite sure what you were getting. Then you could excavate it and then you could glue it onto the little paper. So that's just something else that you can do. It's really fun to do excavations. It works really well with the whole geology and even with archaeology units as well. And then after that, then you can talk about the rocks that you found and, you know, a little bit about that. It really complements a lesson really well, and it gives you like a nice hands-on project. So this is something that we did additionally to the kit itself, but it's really easy to do this. And of course, I am linking that video down below so that you can check it out. All right, so there's one more kit that I want to show you before we get to the books, and that is something that I have had now, I think, for almost 2 years, and we keep meaning to use it and we haven't used it. And this time around, I'm really dedicated to trying to use it, and I can't get it out. So okay, well, it comes with, that looks like plaster as well as a mold here, which it's stuck on something, so I am not going to take it out. It is basically make your own watershed kit. We picked this up from Acorn Naturalist. It's not exactly part of our geology unit entirely, but I think that it will work well with it. So hopefully we will incorporate this into our unit. All right, so now it's time to talk about like how this unit's actually going to get put together, because so far I've showed you all of our hands-on projects and, you know, those kinds of materials that are inspiring, classroom decoration, audio CDs, but now we need to get to the meat of the actual lessons. And for that, I am going to be using our Mineralogy Main Lesson block. So at this point, I have all of these hands-on projects that I definitely want to incorporate into our unit. So I'm going to go through this and I'm going to estimate about 3 weeks, but honestly, it'll probably take us 4 weeks to get through this because there are 15 lessons here. And if you do 1 lesson a week, one lesson a day, that should be 3 weeks. But in my experience, I generally need a little bit more time than the time that it suggests in the curriculum. So I want to make sure that we get to all of our hands-on projects because that is a highlight for me and for the kids. Now, sometimes it doesn't exactly match up with a particular lesson, and that's okay. Whenever we have the time, we like to do our hands-on projects. And so though I want them to coordinate with the lessons, it's okay if they're out of sync with the lessons. What I definitely want to do, in addition to the hands-on projects that I've showed you, is that I want to do some of the projects that are in these Kingfisher books. These books are fabulous. If you can get your hands on them, I highly recommend them. I'm not even sure where I got them. I bet you they were hand-me-downs, but these are so good. This one we used last time. This is called Mountains and Volcanoes, and the information is perfect. It's just enough. It's very informative. The illustrations and photography are perfect to complement the information. And then it comes with these projects that you can do. Now, last time we did several of these projects. We did this one. I've got a video on it. We did this one. I also have a video on it. We did the fold mountains. They're super simple. They're great demonstrations. They're very educational. I absolutely love them. They're super affordable, and you can generally do them with things that you already have around the house or that you can buy for really inexpensively. So I have 3 of the books here. I've got Rivers and Oceans and Weather and Climate and Mountains and Volcanoes. We're definitely going to use Mountains and Volcanoes. We may use these other 2. It kind of depends. But since they have such great projects and great information and delivered in a really lively way, I definitely want to try to incorporate these into our unit as much as we can. The other books that I'm using as resource guides that I've already started to use since we did this partly with our ocean unit are Geology Underfoot in Southern California and Assembling California. So both of these are very specific to where we live. I'm sure that you could find other books that are specific to where you live when you're doing your geology unit. This is just for my information so that I can be more prepared in presenting our lessons. And also, because the first lesson is on local geology and geography, it's important that you tailor that first lesson to where you are and where you're living. These are 2 eyewitness books, and for me, eyewitness books are kind of hit or miss in the sense that in the past we were using them by reading each page like every day. Like we would read 2 pages every day during our units, and that wasn't really that inspiring for us, and it didn't really relate to the rest of the content that we were studying for that unit, and we just kind of usually forgot what we read. So this time around, actually this past year or so, the way I've been using these books are really just very selectively. I will use a particular section related to the topic that we're studying, and generally I'm not reading this aloud to my child. Usually I'm using these books as resource information, like just for me to gather information for that particular lesson. Geologists, we used this book last time we did this unit, but last time what I had my son do is he read through this entire book, and I think he wrote like a paragraph on, like, say every 3rd or every 4th geologist. This time around, I just want to pick maybe 2 or 3 and really study their life more in depth and make sure that the ones that we're choosing relate to the lessons that are in the curriculum, so that it is a little bit more profound when we're reading about them. But definitely adding the human component into this unit is really important for me, and I'm really glad I found this book. I've checked this out from the library now so many times that I've probably accrued so many late fees, I might as well just buy it. So it is going on my wish list just to purchase. I wanted to show you 3 books here that we really liked the last time we did this unit, and I definitely want to use them again this time around. Rocks and Minerals. This is Eyewitness Explorer series, and this one is really nice because it also includes some projects that you can do. And while we didn't do any of these projects the last time we did this unit, I am looking forward to doing some of them this time. Grand Canyon Geology. The Grand Canyon is about 1 state away from where we are, and so visiting it is something that's really possible. We've already visited a couple of times, but to visit it after we study it really is a little bit more profound for my kids. And so I'm looking forward to trying this book out. All the other ones that I'm going to show you now, they're so general, it's really hard to make a good connection with the information that you're learning with your environment. So I have all these books on like rocks and fossils and geology, and then I go out into our local hills and I can't tell you a single thing about it, and it is so frustrating because I want to say like, oh, this is such and such rock, or this is why it's here, or this is how these hills were formed. So in the past couple of years, I've tried to make use of the local services that are available for us, especially at the regional parks and at nature centers. There are so many knowledgeable docents and volunteers and even just paid employees that know so much about the local habitat, the local geology, and so making use of those services is fantastic. I've already started to do that for our area, and it really kind of opens up your eyes to what's around you. So the following books, I've got one on fossil, volcanoes, what shaped the land. All of these are ones that you could easily pick up from the library. We happen to have all of these in our own collection. Some of them are ones that we purchased, some of them are hand-me-down. They're all about middle elementary age. In the past, I had actually given these to my son to read, and then he would write a narration about them or just do an oral narration. And I found that kind of separated the information from the whole lesson that we were doing, because I was doing something, he was doing something separate, and there wasn't really a connection between that information. So this time around, either will read these aloud with my son, or I will read them ahead of time and then just deliver the lesson as part of our, main lesson block. But I did want to show you these so that you can get an idea of the resource materials that we have available and the things that you might consider picking up from the library. So now that I have all of these things, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this entire curriculum, the table of contents, each of these lessons, and then I am going to figure out which books can go with whatever lesson we're studying. And I'm just going to go ahead and pencil it into the curriculum. That way it's also here the next time we want to do this. And that way, as we're beginning the lesson, I can be reminded of the books that we want to use, the different projects that we want to do, and I can also put this on a spreadsheet. And also, it's going to be available for you at Homeschool Panda, where you will be able to see our entire 3 to 4 week main lesson block on our mineralogy unit, as well as all the books that we're going to use. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you. Don't forget that you can check back with me at the end of this unit to see our review video so that you can see all the things that we liked, the things that we didn't like, the things that we're going to do again, the things that you might as well just pick up from the library, and the things that are worth owning. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching.